Good evening and welcome to Secrets, What the Mainstream Media Won't Tell You, our conference here in Tempe, Arizona. Today is Saturday. I'm Dr. Chet Snow, and in addition to being one of your hosts of this weekend, I have the great privilege to give you an overview of the 2008 crop circles that have occurred in England and actually around the world this year. It's been a passion of mine that I've shared with my bride Kallista over the last 17 years. We have spent a part of every summer, which is obviously the crop growing season, in England, mostly in the area of Wiltshire, where about 70% of the crop circles that come in England have come every summer for the last 30 years, researching, exploring, and sharing this incredible enigma with other people. So without further ado, I want to first introduce my book, Mass Dreams of the Future. I always start with this because I think it's very important of the subtitle, which is about the apocalypse or global spiritual awakening. The choice is ours. Now, another orb, sets of photos in a crop circle with one of our tour groups. I'm sure you all know that my wife and I take one small group each summer to England, just 10 people, and usually at the beginning of August, because that's kind of the height of the crop circle season most years. And we have a chance to actually explore and meditate in crop circles, go into them, fly over them, see them from the air, do work in Stonehenge, and it's always fascinating to see what comes from that and with the group. And this particular year, we had these wonderful orb anomalies that took place. All of this is following the Mayan calendar, as I said earlier. The Mayan calendar, this great cycle of 13 Baktuns, where it began at the time of 3113 BC, or approximately, and is set to end in our time, 2011, 2012. There's some discrepancy or controversy about the exact dates, but it's very much in that ballpark. When we notice we're in the last Baktun, which is about 400 years, that started in 1618. If you go back again, remember that first woodcut of a crop circle was in 1642, so not very far apart. It is a phenomenon of this last cycle. The Mayans have said that this last cycle will be the over-materialization, or the farthest we go as a species into the material realm of the world. Next, we will go back toward a more spiritual dimension from this very, very material world. Well, in our last Baktun, in this last time, certainly the most important aspect of going into the materialism of the world has been the Industrial Revolution, which has created the economic and other social substratas to allow us to explore materially and machinery and all of the energy-using devices that we're so common with. In fact, up to this clicker and this computer and the microphone and the lights that are, allowing us to stand in what is essentially a dark box. Think about this. If all the machines were gone, we'd simply be sitting or standing in a dark box, and I might be able to talk to you that the first rows could hear me, but certainly not the last, without very straining my voice. So we're very dependent on this, and this is part of the minds. Where did that Industrial Revolution start? Well, guess what? It started in England. So is it totally surprising that what might be harbingers of coming out of that into a new cycle, a different cycle, one that may have more spiritual development than physical development or material development or machine development, would also come out of England right now? The phenomenon is gone worldwide, has gone worldwide, but certainly it is still more prevalent in England, and some of the most advanced formations do come through England today. Hunabku, the symbol or the creator of all from the Mayans, actually was shown to us in a stylized form in a crop circle back in July of 1996. Look at the energy coming out. Not much was known about this at the time. Some people said, oh, it's like a solar or lunar, but it's showing us, pointing us in the time of our direction of what we are going into. Why is the Mayan calendar coming to a changeover point? I won't call it an end point, because in fact what it really comes to is an overlapping point, and a new calendar, in a sense, a new dimension takes place right over the old one. That's what it means. The 13 Ahau comes together so that all the calendar cycles go back to zero all at once. Well, Yes.
Can you back up, please? One.
To Hunapku?
So we can see this? Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
You don't have the comparison side by side.
No, I don't. I'm sorry, Richard.
Now for Richard.
It's not 100%, you understand. But very much what we're talking about here. And I really do it to illustrate how the crop circles are showing us certain parts of the calendar and really imprinting it physically into the fields and imprinting it onto our earth. And that may be very important that it is done that way. It is my contention that crop circles, although they have a lot to say to we humans, us humans, are not ultimately for us. They really are for the planet of which we are a part. The Hopi, with whom I've worked since the early 1990s, when some of their elders called me to meet with them after my book, Mass Dreams of the Future, came out, because it talks on prophecy and they have many prophecies. They basically said, we have created an out-of-balance situation on the planet by our activities, and particularly by the overuse and dependency on machinery, on mechanization, on non-living things, that we are, in a sense, attributing life to what isn't alive. And this to them is that Mayan idea of going as far into the material world as one can. But they said there will be, the reverse must take place. So the crop circles are imprinting a healing force, I believe, onto the planet. And perhaps, again, they are coming more in England because of that Industrial Revolution and the roots of the imbalance that goes back right to that time in the 17th century. Now, another beautiful crop circle a few years later in 2002. And what's very interesting is that the glyphs here on the outside are a stylized version of a glyph in Maya, which means the ancient ones, and also, fascinatingly enough, translates as Milky Way. Because you know the 2012 changeover point of the calendar really means that we come as a solar system, and therefore our planet, back into an alignment with the center, or the dark rift as it's called, of the Milky Way galaxy, our own galaxy, of which we're one of the spiral arms way out toward the edge. So the glyph was being shown to us. And this alignment actually has already started, but it will come apparently to apogee, to its peak, in the time of 2012. Now, 2 years later, a second very extraordinary Mayan-based crop circle got the attention of Jaime Maussan, one of Mexico's leading UFO researchers and journalists, who actually flew to England literally overnight because he was so excited when this crop circle came. And for a couple of years, we have been given extraordinary crop circles every year that have to do with various aspects of the Mayan calendar. Now, this isn't the theme of my talk, is not to talk only on the Mayan calendar, so I'm not going to go into this in great detail with you, but I want to show you some of this incredible crop circles that have come. This one at a place called Wayland Smithy with the crescent moon. It actually showed some what are called transits of Venus. It gave specific dates about transits of Venus between now and 2012, or between 2005 and 2012. And another one that came just a few miles away near what is called the Uffington Whitehorse in Oxfordshire. Then in 2006, this is a Mayan star, the symbol of Lamet, which is part of the Pleiades, also symbol of the Pleiades. And then in 2007, a Mayan number, well, the number 6, which indicates for that, and this is again just about the anniversary of the harmonic convergence, 87 to 07, a 20-year anniversary, that if you add 6, we're going to the end of beyond the convergence point of the Mayan calendar and into the new calendar of 2013.